I
gonna
think we're
do
just
our
winging it.
well, yeah,
We
that too.
we winging it on a hope and a prayer.
We're
Yep.
still
Mm-hmm.
gonna do we're still gonna do our weekend review though, right?
Yeah, of course, yes.
Yes. Who's gonna start?
Whoever you say.
You.
I knew that was going. I knew that was coming.
See, you had a chance to get out of it, but you didn't
See,
take it.
I knew that was coming.
So Victoria
mm.
again, and Miss
Okay.
Ruth, will you go next?
absolutely.
Okay, and then I will bring up the rear
All right.
on that. Um, okay. Okay, we got that. At least we got that part taken
And we're
care
so glad to see you on time and in the
of.
building.
Uh,
Yes.
I am so happy too. It's
Did you
been
break any
out
well,
there for a little while, but everything comes together the way it needs to when it needs to. So I'm
All
grateful.
right.
that's true.
All right, everybody, time to roll your open. Have a great
All
show.
righty. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Alan. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Authors Up. Hey there, Ruth. How are you this evening?
I am well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And Miss Victoria Henderson Poole. Queen Victoria, how are you this
the queen.
evening?
The queen is wonderful.
The Queen is wonderful. How good, how good, how good. Hey there,
Isn't it?
Lynn Hines. Good to have you on the line tonight. And Miss Linda Cooks has dropped by Authors Up
All
this
right.
evening. And we're glad to have both of them here. I tell you what, this is going to be an interesting evening. Everything we do here at Authors Up is a little interesting and not quite the norm. And this is going to be one of those shows.
Whoop.
So happy about it. But we're going to start the way that we usually do, and that's with our week in review. And we're going to start with you, Queen Victoria. What was
Oh, okay. The queen actually has had a very mundane week.
Mm,
It's been a week. I am actually in the throes of moving, and I'm just gonna tell you guys and our listeners and viewers, whew, get rid of stuff. Get rid of stuff now. Just take some time and do some spring cleaning and,
Yeah.
and unpack the packing, unpack the stuff you haven't packed since the last time you moved. Because it's something. It's oh my gosh. And papers, I have discovered that I'm a paper hoarder. And
oh,
I'm finding papers from 2016. It's terrible. It's terrible. I'm telling y'all. It's bad. It's bad. And this move didn't have to be this bad if I had just taken some time to clean up and but I'm heeding the message now. I've been throwing out I've
good,
gotten rid of some clothes and some
good.
shoes. I mean, I have a tub of shoes that I haven't put my foot in.
Got to go.
It can't go with me. It
Not
can't
to
go
the
with
new place. No.
me. It just can't wait. So I move from my old place. I'm moving to an old way of life. I move to a brand new life. You know that song? I move from my old friends. Whew. So that's my take for this week. Just take some time to do it. And I have been meaning to do it. I see you, Francine. Francine says she has an unopened mail since 2009.
You know,
Unopened.
I don't think you needed what was in that envelope at all.
just recycle it at this
It's
point.
just
Shred it.
It's just and I'm moving Tuesday, and see, it's almost to the point where I don't even have time now to go through stuff.
Mhm.
It's just kind of like, okay, let's just get this boxed up, and I have to go through it on the other side. But I wouldn't have had to do that if I had just taken some time. So I just implore everybody, just it's time to unclutter. It really is.
Time
That's
to
the word for the week.
That's
Unclutter.
yes.
Unclutter. And
Yes.
get rid of it. Your clothes that you haven't worn since before the pandemic. Just
Yep.
give it away. Just give it to Goodwill. Just let it go. Set it free.
Will Goodwill accept things?
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
they will. They
Okay.
will.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that was my week, and that's going to continue to be this week too. But I'm looking forward to next week, right? Where I can
Mhm.
say to you, I moved. It's done.
Yep.
Now I got to unpack, but still, it's
Well,
done.
yeah, you'll be in your new place. You can take your time unpacking. It's just
And so I don't know
getting.
what kind of background we're going to see next week, but it's not going to be this one.
Look, just make sure the camera's only facing one way.
That's
all.
it. That's it. I'm
You good?
just saying, it's going to always face one way, but I have no idea what's going to be behind me. I'll just make sure it's not boxes.
Francina says I'm clearing out everything now. Unfortunately, I am a
See?
hoarder.
She
Yeah.
needed that. She needed that message tonight. She needed that message. You're
Yeah.
not alone, Francina. You are not alone. I'm with you.
So true, so true. I tell you, I let my grandson help me clean some things out of the basement. I said I gotta, unclutter. I gotta get
Yeah,
rid of
yeah.
some of this stuff. If you are in doubt about how to do that, I will see if he has time on his calendar. Because I will pick something up and he'll say, Nanny, have you read it in the last 6 months? Have you seen it? Have you looked at it? Throw it away. I said,
Exactly.
I'm
Lynette
making
has it right. Lynn
Throw
has it right. Throw it away.
but it may come back. I might need this at some point. No, you don't. You don't even know what it is. You haven't looked at it. You don't need to throw it away. So cleaning with him, not a chore.
He sounds like my Vinaya. Vinaya said, Mama, this skirt is from 1999. Because I remember it when you were small. Throw it out.
The sad part is she could probably walk away with it because it'll probably be in style in the next 10 years.
And she's probably right. She was born in 1998, so she know what she talking about, that she saw it in 99.
How about you, Miss Ruth? What was your week like?
Well, it was less, maybe a little more productive than Victoria. So,
Now, I've been productive. I'm just, I've been very productive.
oh, come on, Lynette. Of course, Lynn, it will come back. It just,
Sometimes it does.
Yeah,
Sometimes it does.
I
yeah.
think her first comment is the right mirror, though. Throw it
Throw
away.
it out.
Just
Throw it away. Throw it away. Just throw it away. If it come
Oh.
back, you get another one. Okay.
Well, look. We all remember the like the shoulder pads and the
Oh,
high
no,
waist from the
no,
80s.
no.
Those are all back. Those are all
It
back.
can come back, but I'm not wearing it. I don't need shoulder
Look,
pads.
the
I look like a
mom
linebacker.
jeans.
There's nothing. Need no shoulder pads.
Those mom jeans, remember those? Those are back too.
Mm-mm.
Mine never went away, I don't think.
Okay.
I hate to admit it, but I think they've always been there.
What else did you do, Ruth?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm actually I've hit a stride. I'm getting ready to hit publish on two brand new books for two authors with my publishing company. So I'm
Yay, that's
excited about that.
awesome.
I'm always excited, even if it's not my book, I'm excited to hit
When we
publish.
get a new book.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, and I got the opportunity. So I've only done ebooks and paperbacks. I'm getting the opportunity to do my first hardback.
Oh,
So I'm
Ooh.
kind of, and the thing is, we are obviously in an inflation. So the cover, so the
Mhm.
cost of a lot of things is going up. And I've been watching the costs of books rise.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know what? Honestly, we'll pay what it takes,
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
get a book because you
We
want to read
will.
it.
We
We
will.
we
We
will.
will.
So it's interesting to see that, just to see the difference between the hardcover, the softcover, the ebook,
Yeah.
and to price everything. So it's just, to me, I'm like a kid in a candy store, but it's just, I love what I do, and I'm always happy to see a new author just walk away with their
Congratulations.
book.
That
So yeah,
means
thank you.
business is going forward. I love it.
It is. It
Yeah.
has been steady since the pandemic. I
Mm-hmm.
can't speak for a lot of other publishers, but from what I've read, a lot of people have taken the opportunity that the pandemic provided to write their story,
Yes.
and I think that's what, if you are thinking about writing your story, there's no better time than now.
That's it.
Mhm.
Nobody
So
can tell it like you do.
that's right.
Ruth, are we going to see these authors on our show?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Absolutely. Now we are booked for the rest of the year.
Woo-hoo!
So
Woo!
they'll be
How about that?
spaced out.
Snap,
So
snap, snap, snap.
I'm excited. I actually had to close our calendars.
Oh,
I
wow.
will reopen them again in July, and we'll start
That's,
booking for 2023.
that speaks volumes.
Doesn't
That
That's
it?
speaks
that's
Think
something.
about it. We've
volumes.
only been on the air for about 2 years and 3 months, 4 months now.
Wow.
Almost 2.5 years. We are booked solid.
For
So
the rest of the year. At one time, we would just book for like the next couple of weeks.
mhm.
And
That's
we're in February. Let's just make this clear. We're booked through December.
We are booked through December. Yes.
that's
Wow.
awesome.
Yes.
Wow. I am
Thanks to your hard
humbled.
work, Ruth.
Yes, yes, it is you
Look,
now.
look.
It is
Makes
you.
our
It
contact
is us.
Yes.
It is us. So.
our authors
Wow.
and keeps our calendar and lets me
Right.
call her every other day and say,
Right.
what are
That
we
is awesome. God, we thank you. You're right, Paula. God is so good. Thank you, God.
Yes,
Wow.
and there's gonna be some good news for Miss Paula in what in the near future.
Yes.
Yes,
Near
yes.
future,
Paula O.
she is going
Yeah.
to be joining the list of authors.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
New
That's
authors
right.
up. So we're proud of you too, Paula, and we can't wait to get your book in that pipeline. So we'll be saying, oh,
Get the book. Yes.
yes, indeed, indeed, indeed.
Well, how was your week, Andrea?
Well, my week was absolutely phenomenal.
I bet it
Okay.
was. I have my book.
Fantastic.
I got
It
my
was
book.
fantastic. I see whenever I
She
get
don't even know what to say.
about it, I just get so excited and for so many reasons.
Yeah.
I get excited because of you guys, because this thing would never have happened. Never have
Wow.
happened without you all's encouragement and without you even sometimes you just need people to tell you what to do.
Mhm.
And that's what happened. Nobody said, "Do you think you want to write a book?" No. Miss Ruth said, "You're going to
You're
do this
going to,
writing
right?
challenge with us." And I thought,
I
what?
told you she scared me a little that day.
I'm not doing that. Yes, you are. You can do it. And I said, "Oh, well, okay. I can do it. You say I can do it. I can do it." And I did it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have been so happy about the number of people, the response that I'm getting, and people that are anxious to get the book, to want to get the book in their hands, to want to read this story, and I've learned so much. And one of the things that I've learned, which absolutely had nothing to do with what we're talking about tonight, but I've learned to get out of my own way.
Mhm.
Sometimes, as much as we think we've got it, as much as we think we've got the plan for it, we've got to listen to the people who are in the industry that know more than we know.
Mhm.
Right.
and take advantage of their expertise. I
Yes.
remember when I was writing Nanny Nuggets, and there were some covers that I liked, that I really liked. And I happened to be at church one Tuesday night, and the church photographer was there, and I said, "Hey, take a picture of me and Jasmine." And she said, "Okay." And she took the picture, and we had not planned it. We hadn't planned it color-wise. We hadn't done any of that. We just hugged each other, and that was it. So when I was trying to decide what cover to use for that book, everybody said the cover of You and Jasmine. Everybody except me. So I couldn't find anybody to agree. So I'd go to another person. You know how we do. I'm gonna keep going.
Uh-huh.
Somebody gives me the answer I want. So I'd ask somebody else, and they said, "Yeah, You and Jasmine." I'd say, "But what about this one?" Because I didn't want my picture on the cover.
Mm.
What about this one? And they said, "No, You and Jasmine." And finally, my mentor, my life coach, my teacher trainer said, when you ask people who have expertise in the
Yeah.
area that you are looking to have an answer, and they give it to you,
Mhm.
accept it.
There
Mhm.
you go.
They know what they're talking about. That's why you asked them in the first place. So I humbly put my head down and said, "I'll take me and Jasmine for the cover." But what happened is so many people told me afterwards I was drawn to the book because of the picture of You and Jasmine.
Look at that.
And I would have gone in a totally different direction, and I would have been wrong, so wrong, so wrong. So I am grateful for Studio Griffin. Ta-da!
Amen. Amen.
And I thank her for telling me, just go sit down now. It's
Yeah.
okay.
And look, we're going to have a longer conversation next week because you're going to be our guest of honor.
That's right. And we're going to talk about the train. Yes, I got my copy, so I'll be able to hold it up.
Yay! Did you do your comment?
Your
I
review.
believe my review. I believe
Yes.
I did. Did.
Did you do a review?
I think
Okay.
I did.
Well, if you didn't, there's still time.
That's right. That's right. I
There's still
believe that I did, but anyway, I thought I did so in the preview.
Ooh, thank
But
you,
okay,
Paula.
whatever.
Thank
Maybe I did.
Yeah,
Well,
you included a comment in there. Now you need to write a review.
Write it in the review. Okay. Yes,
Mhm.
that's right. That's right.
Mhm.
So
I
there's
will do it.
so much that I'm learning, so much I know that I have to do, but that has nothing to do with tonight, except that I'm grateful. I'm
Amen.
very grateful.
Amen.
And
We are
thank all of
grateful.
you who tune in and who listen and who follow our craziness week after week.
You keep
But
coming back.
We
Thank
a
you.
special kind of crazy now. That's the truth. We
we got
special.
special kind of crazy. But tonight we are supposed to talk about love in literature.
Okay.
And I say supposed to talk about love in literature because this is one of those shows where you may visit a friend, you might go to their house, and they've got another friend over, and they're sitting around chatting, and they tell you, "Come on in, have a seat, join the conversation." It's one of those nights. Y'all come on in.
Have a seat. Get comfortable.
That's right. That's
And
right.
just see what we've got to talk about. So we're supposed to be talking about love in literature, and love is just a universal language.
It is.
And I say that because it really doesn't matter what you're writing about. There's love in there somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Right.
I just think it is. It may not necessarily be a love story, but there's love within the relationship of the characters
Right.
that you're writing about, no matter what kind of story it is. You know, whether it's a mystery, whether it is action, thriller, suspense. even the horror movies. You look at the horror movies and horror stories.
Somebody loving on somebody before they got hacked up.
What is that whole series, the Twilight series?
Yeah, that's built on love.
Vampires and everything
Yeah,
else. Then you got this love story going on right in the middle of it, you know?
That's right.
So it just, I don't think we can get away from it. I don't
Right.
think we can, even
Right.
if it's not meant to be, you know, even if it's not billed as a love story. But when you think about love in literature, I know what first comes to my mind is, of course, poetry,
Right. Right.
because that's where all of the flowery verses come from, and all of the, you know, mushy stuff.
Yes. Do you
Because
have a piece that do you have
uh,
a piece do you have a piece of poetry that that you felt inspired by? Is there any particular prose that you
most
like?
most of me personally, of my work,
No, no, I'm just saying,
oh,
or
just
any
in
other author.
general.
Yeah.
I think I'm always drawn to Shakespeare.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. That's first thing. Yeah, it would
Hmm.
it would be Shakespeare. It would be the Romeo and Juliet.
Oh,
You know,
Okay.
the Rose by any other name is still
it's still a rose.
you
Wherefore
know,
art thou?
that,
That's the
yeah,
only line I know. Wherefore art thou, Romeo?
Romeo. But yeah, that, you know, that's tough too for some people because
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
language of Shakespeare. But
Mhm.
yeah, I when I think of love, I'm immediately drawn to romantic love, and
Mhm.
that to me is the epitome of it. Are there more writers than that? Absolutely. There are
Right.
modern writers and the Terry McMillans and all those folks who write about relationships, and Stella getting her groove back and all that other good,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know, that has its own posture and position, you know, when it comes to love. But from a romantic love standpoint, yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably where I would be. Mhm.
I think I'm going to date myself, but that's okay because I
Yes.
don't mind telling my at my age. But my first I could think introduction in love in literature was the Harlequin romances. Y'all remember
Uh-huh.
those?
Mhm.
I had a subscription, and every month I would get my 5 books.
Did you read them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I wouldn't have paid the subscription.
Don't
This is
get
when
her
I got old
stirred up,
enough.
Ruth.
Yeah, I read my 5 little books, and I was just dumb enough to think that's what love really was, because I was young, young,
Mhm.
and I just ate those Harlequin romances up. I just knew I was gonna have me somebody dashing like that. They were just gonna come sweet me up. And in all the stories, and I didn't realize either. All the stories ended the same,
Yeah.
You,
Mhm.
you have Francis loves Johnny, and they get in some conflict, but in the end, they figure it out, and they they ride
Formula.
away in the sunset. And it wasn't a lot of sex in those Harlequin romances, It was just enough to get a teenager excited. The truth that this was what was love. He loves me. He loves me like he did in the Harlequin romances. I don't even know. They probably don't even make those books anymore, right?
They do.
But they
They do.
still make Harlequin romances.
Mhm.
Ay, ay, ay.
Oh yeah.
Those were some stories, I'm telling you. But
Oh yeah.
that's what I thought love was all about. What you read between the covers of a book. Because I figured even though it was fictional stories, it had to be based on something. Somebody knew somewhere was the truth.
Mhm.
But I love those Harlequin romances until it got too expensive, and then there was too many books all over the place. How many can you read to get the point?
Nobody was trying to get the point. They were just trying to get the next little book and the next little.
I know it was these little books. I love Harlequin romances. I do.
Now you remember that author, Dame, I think Edna, not Edna. She wrote like over 700 romance books.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Over seven. I think she was one of the most prolific writers. Dame something or other. She was
Close your mouth.
knighted by the queen or something like that. But it's funny because I used to read her stuff when I was a teenager, and
Wow.
that
I'm trying to
stuff.
think of, did I ever read her?
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Hmm.
I don't know that she wrote specifically for Harlequin,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
but she
But
was
if she did, I
very
read her.
yeah no
I read her. I got her.
yeah. So she was Barbara Cartland. Sorry, that's her
Barbara
name, Barbara
Cortland.
Cortland.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yep.
So she
Yep.
had like over 700 titles in her collection. And
I've
I
read
just
her
remember
books.
reading, and I went back the other day to look at her stuff.
700. I just can't even imagine.
No, that's when they're using a formula to write. So,
Ah.
but it's just I went back to read one of her books and I was like, ew, I can't believe I read.
She said, ew.
Not just that you read it, but you enjoyed it.
That's
And
true. Yes. And that's
you
the thing
did.
because it does affect your brain. It starts conditioning you to start thinking, okay, I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to meet somebody. And then we're going to have a short romance. By the time I get back home, we're going to write to each other because we've fallen in love in the 3 days that we were out.
No, he coming to where I live. He gonna move. He gonna move all the way across the world, just for me.
Yep.
Because he loves
He
me.
like, oh yes.
Oh my
And
goodness.
Danielle Steele. I love a good Danielle Steele. Oh,
Yes.
I just, yes, Lord.
Yes. Yes.
I have to say though, so this show, we were originally going to talk about it on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
And we were sitting there trying to come up with, okay, what can we do? You had promised not to be bah humbug anymore.
Yeah, no, I was gonna do that.
But because it's interesting because when we came up with this topic, the first story that came to mind was the Song of Solomon.
Oh wow.
And it was just like, I've never actually read it through, but I know that it's very it's romantic. And number one, it's in the Bible. It's
Right.
very romantic. It's also very risque. If
It
you
is,
have
because
not
that's the only
read,
parts I know. He's talking about the breasts.
they talk about other stuff and make allusions to it. But it's just, I think.
But as a kid, you get pointed out those parts. Ooh, the breast is in the Bible. It's true. Y'all stop. Okay, I'm sorry. Y'all stop laughing, but it's true.
Before you prayed, right? We did pray.
We did pray. We did pray.
We did invite him in, right?
We did. But the breast is in the Bible.
I was just checking.
But I never viewed Song of Solomon as a love. Love. Go ahead, Ruth.
Welcome to our house, ladies and gentlemen. You have now entered another world for real.
Y'all know that part about the breast was in there. And kids being kids. Ooh, do you see this? That's not in the Bible. Yes, it is.
But you're right.
Yeah.
We're laughing about it.
You're right. You're right.
It's true.
You were right. You were right. That's the way people looked at it.
It was not presented to me as prose. It just
No.
wasn't.
And that's the thing too. I've learned the beauty of it because, unlike you, Andrea, I read a lot of stuff, but poetry is not among them. It just, I don't know why my brain just does not have the patience to read poetry. But I've learned that, I don't remember what I was studying, but the way the Bible is written, especially like in the Psalms and the Proverbs, the way it's, there's a certain line, words per line, that's poetry.
Right.
And the Song of Solomon is part of that. It's part of a love song. I think, not just from Solomon to whichever wife
That was right.
yeah, one of one
Yeah, that's
thousand.
not explained either, right? Okay.
So whichever wife he was talking to, but it's also, a reflection of, um, what God is telling us,
Mhm, mhm.
and for me, my ultimate, and I think you guys know this because my first romance book that I wrote was based off of a story in the Bible. Speak
Mhm.
Tenderly to Her was based off of the
Yes.
book of Hosea, and um,
And Gomer.
told their story,
Mhm.
and it's just, to me, I think that that is like the ultimate love story. It's
Right.
not, yeah, there's romantic love. Yeah, there's, sex in the Bible and breasts, all of
Yes.
that. But, ultimately, it is about that love, that deeper love. You talk about love, it's not just an emotion. It's not just,
Right.
oh, my heart's all aflutter and stuff like that. It is
Right.
something way deeper, something that just you care about that other person and you care about what happens to that other person.
Right. Right.
And it's just, it's like you were saying, Andrea, that whatever book you read, you're going to find that in there.
Right.
Sometimes it presents itself as romance. Sometimes it presents itself as, a mother-child relationship,
Mhm.
or,
Mhm.
parent or family or friend.
Friend.
Friends. Yeah.
You
That
love your friend.
friendship is a
Yeah.
deep one, which is also in the Bible. You love that one about loving your brother enough to lay down your life
Mhm.
for a brother. That's deep.
And
Mhm.
the love of mankind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That love that God tries to get us to,
Yeah. Right.
the Christ-like love.
Yeah.
And it's not just passion. you
Mhm.
It is all those other kinds of love that you mentioned, and it's everywhere.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
It transcends cultures and boundaries and all those
Mhm.
kinds of things. I think sometimes if we could, if I wonder sometimes where we would be if we let uh, the mankind, the mankind love, the love for your fellow man. If
Mhm.
if we allowed that to supersede everything else that we do and that we think about. I'm trying,
Mhm.
Yes.
trying to say
Yes.
my first thought about you was about expressing a God kind of love.
Right. Right.
My first thought about you had nothing to do with ethnicity or color or any
Yes.
bias that I could put out there. How how much more pleasant
Mhm. Mhm.
would the world be that
Like
we
that author's book that we did,
yeah
where everybody was intentional
yes yes
about being kind to each other,
hmm
and wanting the best for each other, and all that. We did too, Paula. We saw your comment. Paula
yeah
said they skipped over the Song of Solomon for that part, that very reason. The immature kids could not handle that part. But that I forgot the name of the book that quick, but you'll know who I'm talking about.
yeah
The
I
author
think it
we're
was
talking
with
about.
Richard Harris.
Yeah, yeah. That book was
when they took the best of the best to create
Yeah.
this world um,
yeah.
that wasn't competitive and wasn't against one another and wasn't
Exactly.
fighting for
Exactly.
power and all of that. Yeah,
Imagine.
Right.
That's what it was.
imagine
It's right.
Yeah.
And imagine if that was happening right now, we would not have the
the
Ukraine
situation we
situation in
have.
Russia.
Right,
Yeah.
Mm.
right.
That love was just present, that wanted the best for each other. And
But I think even in that, you're seeing some of the responses in love. I
right.
was at the gym earlier and trying to avoid looking at the news while I was on the treadmill. But,
Hmm.
there are countries who are opening their borders to the refugees. They're not
Wow.
stopping them, they're not turning them back.
Wow.
They're saying, come on in. We
Yeah.
understand what's going on.
Yeah. We'll
We
help
got
you.
enough respect, at least for mankind.
I love that. I love
Mhm.
that. I love
Mhm.
that.
Wow.
Ruth, have you ever done any research. I would love to know the research of how many books there are about love, you know, because love is such a broad and powerful topic.
Yeah.
And there's so many facets of it, you know,
I
to
don't
know
know
how
how
many
you
books
could
were written.
quantify that. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
I think that's something I don't think we could. I mean, if we were gonna
Yeah.
say, okay, how many romance books are there? We could perhaps look at the numbers, but when you start talking, um, I there was another book that I read. It's called A Monster Calls, and it's a young adult
Mm.
book. A young boy, his mother, he lives in England with his mother, and his mother is dying of cancer, and
Mm-hmm.
keeps having this recurring nightmare where he's on a cliff and he's holding on to his mom, and then he wakes up and in daylight. So that's his dream. But when he wakes up, there's a tree nearby, and it comes to life as a monster. And
Wow.
the monster comes back to him several times and he tells him, I'm going to tell you three stories and you're going to tell me one. And ultimately, what it comes down to is that he's hurting. His mother's
Mm-hmm.
dying.
Mm-hmm.
His father has left for America. His grandmother, he doesn't get along with her. He's being bullied at school. He has one
Wow.
friend, he feels invisible and he starts acting out and he ends up breaking this little boy's arm. He ends up destroying his grandmother's house, but no one will correct him.
Oh
And he's
wow.
looking for people to punish him, but people are instead are loving him because they understand what he's going through. And he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't understand that until the end when he's able to tell his own story. And to me,
Mm.
it's written as a fantasy book. It's written
Mm-hmm.
as a, young adult book, but it's a love. It's a story of love.
Right.
It's all these people who are surrounding this little boy as he's acting out, but it's in love. So
Wow.
it'd be hard to quantify that, but I think we
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
probably say that a majority of the stories have some form of love. And I
Love
think,
in it. Yeah.
often than not, love drives the story, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Yep, I think
What
so.
a universal language, right? Love
Mhm,
is a universal language.
mhm.
It is. It is. If you had to, if you had to write if somebody told you to write a love story, and this is kind of like the 6 word challenge, but if somebody told you that you had to write a story, what, just off the top of your head, what would you include in it?
Oh,
Hmm.
mm.
I
What would
might write a book like Beaches, which talked about the love of the friendships that
the
two friends had over
Mhm.
the years and
Yeah,
how it
that was
changed,
good.
everything changed for each of them in their individual lives, but they still loved each other. They loved each other till one died, and then the
Mhm.
one that was left living ended up taking the one who died child,
Oh,
to take care of. And if you've never read Beaches, you could watch the movie with Bette Midler in it.
Yeah,
Ah, I love that movie. But I
yeah.
read the book first, you
Hmm.
mhm.
know, and I have friendships like that. I have friends that I have been friends with well over 30 years now, So I might write a book like that that would talk about the friendships that I have had over the years and how they have been enduring, you
Mhm.
know, it, from a child till now, you
Hmm.
know, and that's a lot of years, right? I've known some people over 50 because we met each
Mm.
other when we were 6 years old. So I'm 57 now. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I might write a story like that. How friends can love each other through time and distance. Because it just doesn't matter. I'm just Vicky
That's
to
good.
them. Yeah.
That's good. What about you, Ruth? Because you've already written some great love stories
The
already.
Whoppers.
I think I would probably stick with that not formula, but just that focus point is the romance. Romantic love, let me put it that way.
Hmm.
But I don't do the whole, fly by the seat emotions, and the conflict. I for me, it has to be realistic. And there are, it's not easy. Marriage isn't easy.
Right.
Love isn't easy. That kind of
Right.
relationship between a man or a woman, partners, it's not easy. And there has to be, um, no, there will be conflict. Is how
Mm-hmm.
you work through it. And I think
Right.
ultimately your love is stronger because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
What
yeah.
about you?
Yeah, I just wrote it.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen. The church say amen.
I
Mm,
put those people
mhm.
that loved each other on that train.
Church.
I let them ride.
She did write the book, y'all. Get the book. Get the book. She wrote it. Every last word.
I think though, if I were to write something else, I would want it to I would want it to be something that people know the hope that love can bring.
Mhm.
There
Amen.
would have to be hope in there, and there would have to be forgiveness
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think,
That's good.
I think a good part of what throws us in with loving relationships, whether they are the mankind, the friend, the parent,
Mhm.
passionate love, and all of that, somewhere in there, there's usually a story of forgiveness.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
Somewhere in there. Um, Love's lost, love's rekindled, all of those kinds of things, relationships that are put back together when you never thought they would be, or
Yeah. Yeah.
relationships that you walk away from because you have to.
Right.
But all of that is a part of it. I think all of that
Yeah.
encompasses who we are and how we love, and how we can get caught up in the lives of the characters.
Right.
Mhm.
I think just transitioning from the love in literature to the love that's portrayed and the messes that are portrayed
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
soap operas and things like that. And I think
Yes.
this is kind
Yes.
of off the beaten topic, I guess.
That's
But
okay.
I know so many people when I was dealing with cancer, and I was in the hospital for so long and recouping for so long. I got heavy into soap operas,
Mhm.
Really.
you know, and I'd wake up in the morning wondering what happened to Jan. You know, when is Bill coming home? It's just, that was my thing for the day. And I met people who, would cry because Miss Smith died. And I'm
I
thinking,
know, right?
who's Miss Smith? She's on the guiding light. I'm like, well, what are we doing? what is happening here? And I know people that would take their lunch break when the soap opera
Mhm.
was on, and
Mhm.
All
they
my
would
children. All
they
my
would go
children.
to I had one friend that went to California because one of the characters had died, and she wanted to pay her respects.
She
I
took it
Oh.
too far. She took
oh,
it too far.
this
Now
was just but she was serious.
she was serious.
And
Yeah.
I think sometimes when I think about those stories, I think about, and maybe I shouldn't, but I think about the power that
Mhm.
those stories wield, and that
Yeah.
it's a lot of power. It's a lot,
Yeah.
Right.
depending on where people are in their lives, what they're
Yeah.
going through in their lives,
What
Yes.
they need.
what they
Yes.
need in their
Yes.
lives, and they insert themselves
Mhm.
into these characters, into the
Yes.
stories, into the Harlequin romances,
Yep.
into
Mhm.
all of these things. So
Yes.
I think that for myself as a writer, as an author, as a poet, one thing I would want to always be is responsible
Oh yeah.
Right. Right.
for what I write,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And as Ruth says, I gotta let the story tell itself, because
Mhm.
it was very true. with what I was doing. But you have to understand sometimes, as you've written your story, read your story, editing your story, or whatever, that there are people who will read your story,
Yeah.
read those things, and may take it in an entirely different way than you
Mhm.
did
And you wrote it.
at the
Yeah.
time.
Right.
So, as we write, we have to be as true to our characters as we can, as
Be
true.
real, right?
Yeah,
Like Ruth said, real in love. I like
real.
that idea of love lost. I like that
Yeah,
love lost and
yeah.
reunited, years later. I like that one.
I just think that there's that's a big umbrella.
It is.
That's a
Mhm.
It is.
huge
Mhm.
umbrella.
Yes.
And it can go so many different ways. It can take your story so many different places.
Oh, the places where you
So
go.
it can develop so many characters. Some you love to hate. You know,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
you know,
Love to hate is a good one.
just a wide spectrum.
It
Just a wide
is. And
spectrum.
and I know
Mhm.
we have to wrap up, but I just wanted to mention, that the love of Christ, the
Mhm.
love of Christ that, and as we read the Bible and we read what Christ has done for us, I could not write a novel big enough, or
Right.
write anything close to telling God thank you enough for loving me as He does. That
Yeah.
the love that He had towards us and still has towards us, it's just amazing.
Mhm.
And I invite any of our listeners out there to try and read that Bible and see the love that God has towards us. That He loved this world so much that He sent His Son. It's amazing, and
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
that's the love that beats all love. I tell you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You are so right. You are so right, Victoria. And that's a perfect place for us to wrap up tonight, I think. I really do. Uh, we have we have an opportunity to love
Yeah, we do.
every week that we come together. We have
Mhm.
an
Amen.
opportunity to
Hmm.
love and to show love in a different way, a
Yeah.
way that we may not ourselves have even thought about before we started this journey with Authors Up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love each of you.
Oh,
Mhm.
I
We
love
love you
you too.
too.
Three,
Love you.
three of us love every listener that comes back.
We
I tell you
do.
what, we love you, love you, love you.
We do.
See your names pop up in the comment section and
We excited. Like, hey.
Look, and for all the ones that we don't see, we love and
Yes.
appreciate you as well.
that's right.
Exactly.
That's
Yes.
right. Because we've got some listeners that pop in and peep in that we never see their names, but you're
Yes.
out there.
Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
And we
Don't
thank
think we
you.
love you any less
Yes.
because we love you just as much as those whose names that we see popping up. So I thank you. I thank you for stopping by the house tonight
Yes, we do. Thank you.
and visiting with us as we talk about this thing called love. Um, oh, I was getting ready to ask you, and who is our guest next week? But I think that's me.
You
You
join
got a
us
week to
next
get
week.
ready. Yes.
Join us next week as we talk with author Andrea L. Hines about her latest project called The Train.
Great, that's great. Yeah,
Mhm.
come back next week. Don't leave me by myself with these two ladies. I love them dearly, but I'm telling you, sometimes they scare me. They really do. So join us next week. You never know what's going to happen on Authors Up, and we'll be right back here at 7 p.m. on Sunday night. And again, what's our time for our replay on Saturday, Ruth? Is that 7
7
p.m.?
p.m. Yes.
7 p.m.
We
7
Yep.
p.m.
And
we
you
had
can
some comments where they said, Francina said, much love to you all. Marcia says, thank you, love you all. We love you too. We just wanted to acknowledge that we see
Yes,
you. We see you. And
absolutely.
these are on our Facebook Live. They
Yep.
are telling us how much they love us, and we love them too.
Yes, and thank you, Linda, for joining. And Paula, I'm so excited for you and what's getting ready to happen in your life with your story of love and some twists.
Yes. Now
All
that's
that
a
good
love
stuff.
story right there.
Yes, 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 yes. We can qualify that for sure. So that is it for us for tonight. Come back next week at 7 p.m. Ruth or Victoria, do either of you have any particular closing comments that you want
Nope. My cheeks hurt. I just love everybody. I've been smiling this whole time.
Yes,
Love, love, love you.
yes,
Mwah.
yes,
Night, bronze girls.
yes. How about you, Ruth? Anything?
Just a reminder, email us at authorsup@gmail.com. Our books are closed, but we are happy to accept any comments. If you have any questions, you want to chat about a book, email us.
That's right. We are here. We are
Mhm.
here. And not just for each other. We're here for you too.
That's right.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you all take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. You never know. We may be asking you next week, what's your week in review?
That's
That's
hey.
right.
Be ready.
I like that. I
Ready.
like that.
So good night, everybody. See you next week.
Good night.
Good night.